Hey there, crafty peeps. It's Rhonda from Rhonda World 365. I'm back and I have a tutorial for you. So now this tutorial is going to be on what I do with these little bags that you get from Chili's, and they usually contain like your utensils and your napkins and your straw. And when I had done the tea dyeing portion, the show and tell and the giveaway, I had a request that I show you guys kind of what I do to embellish or you know, decorate these bags. So I've decided to do two different ways that I do this. And for those of you who are unaware, Chili's is a great place for these. I recently was able to talk one of the waitresses into a big stack of these cute little guys here, and they're just like, you know, it's a little brown paper bag, mini. I just love it, and so yay me. Anyway, so I'm going to show you what I do with them. So let me get to that. Okay, so the first one here is we're going to start with we're going to make a simple 3-pocket bag. So all I'm going to do, and I have my popsicle stick here because I cannot find out for the life of me what I have done with my boning tool. So, oh well, here goes. So you want to crease it, and I fold it up to the part where it says Home of the Famous, because I kind of like that little saying, and I've got some things picked out for that. So that is kind of where I'm at. I'm going to take this out of here because I definitely don't want to make anything bad go on with that. I want to keep that for nice. So once you have it folded up, and I've got some bits and pieces over here for things that I'm going to do with it. I've got my fold, and I know exactly where it's going to be. The other thing I'm going to do, and this is my like little tiny cutter, so it's just easier to like flip around and handle in here. So I'm going to take and I'm going to shim off just a smidge of that, this little thing. Maybe not even, definitely not a quarter, probably like an 1/8 off. But anyway, I just eyeball it, and because I'm just wanting to cut off the edge. Alright, so I've got the edge cut and I've got the cut made. Now these are thick, so sometimes they'll want to tear, so you got to be really careful with them. And then I just trim and trim. Alright, so that gives me an opening right there, right? And there's a little extra piece right here, and I'm not going to worry about that. Make sure this is a little bit more straight, like so. Alright, and then I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all of this. Alright, now I'm going to move my cutter here, and in this little section here, I'm going to take, so that somebody knows that what that's for, I'd like there to be a tiny notch. Not a deep notch, because I need some of that room and I don't want to be too deep. So I'm going to leave that back there, and this little thicker spot here, I'm taking my hole puncher and I'm just going to eyeball it, because yes, you can measure, you can be precise all you want to. But I think that right now I just don't care about being super precise. I am trying to go with like a vintage or a shabby chic theme. So not all of that is uber precise. Here we go. This is what I was looking for. And I'm going to take, and I'm just going to whip my distressing tool around it. This little, and I'm going around all the edges here, just so that you kind of get the idea of where there's edges. And I'm not being uber careful not to get it on everything else. Of course, when I'm working with, you know, lighter colors, less tea staining, I want to be a little bit more precise. But right now, I'm just trying to give these edges a little bit of an extra dark look. And just so you know where the notch is. And the reason you want to know where the notch is because you want to know where that third pocket is. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take this, and this is white line tape or two-sided tape or whatever. We sell this from, this one in particular, from Fun Stamper's Journey. So if you really want to order it, you can. For me, it's not real expensive. I think I'm thinking it's $7.99. I'll have to check on that. I'll put it in the little box below, the description box below, so you guys have an idea. And it's just Rhonda Caskey at funstampersjourney.com, and it'll take you right there and whatever. So it's really not that expensive, and you get probably about twice this to maybe a little bit more. So maybe more than twice this. I've already used quite a bit of it, but it goes a long way, and I love it. Not to mention, if I really wanted to, I could rip it. I don't rip it because I don't like the jagged edge. I think it's a little more difficult to, I think the jagged edge is a little more difficult to peel and things like that. So anyway, just peel up. Let's see, do I have this down? Peel up. Okay, so those things are sticky, right? And I'd only put them on the sides. This is a no-sew one. You can sew it if you like. I'm trying to show it for the people who don't necessarily work with their sewing machine, or definitely don't want to sew by hand because it'll take you forever. But anyway, so that's up in there, and now you have a pocket made back there, right? We got a pocket there, we got a pocket here, and we got a pocket here. Now, yes, when you put it in your book, you could just line the two backs there, put it up against the edge of the page, and then stick something behind it here in the back corner. But I don't do it because I feel like this part right here is a little flimsier, and I don't feel like that's the best option for it. But certainly, by all means, make it whatever you want. And of course, mistakes are kind of what help us create, right? So if it doesn't come out to something you like, then you change it to something else you like, All right, so I have fussy cut this little guy out. He is from one of my shabby chic pages, and I just was liking him. I'm going to go ahead and go around him and distress him a little, just the edges. And the only reason I do this, and I try to do it with everything so I remember, is with everything that's papery especially, because I want to make sure that when I put something down, you can see the edges. And it just makes it stand out. I think it makes it pop a little bit more. I'm using tacky glue, and I'm going to put this down. I liked it because I just wanted to give, and that's way too much. That's okay, because I've got my baby wipes. And I'm just going to smear. And also, you should know something about me. When I'm crafting, I am not a clean crafter. I don't know. I think that those terms are kind of oxymorons. But if you are a clean crafter, more power to you, because I bet I would lose less stuff that way. Everything for me, at some point or another, somehow runs away. And I blame it on my table elves. I'm certain that I have craft table elves. But anyway, so baby wipes, they do the trick. And then I've got a little tail here, and I'm just going to flip it and trim my tail. Alright, so now I've got a cute little flowered edge. And we're kind of, like I said, going for shabby chic or boho or vintage or whatever whatever you like to call it. So that is the top portion, and that's pretty much all I'm going to do right there. And the reason behind it is because I don't really need it to be too significant, but I just liked the idea of the flower. Now down below, there is this space, this open space, right? And I really like this lace here, and I want to put the lace on, but I'm not going to put it up here. I'm going to put it down by the edge, down here. And I also don't need both sections of this lace. I've got kind of a dual lace here. So I'm going to go ahead and trim it. And when I do that, I'm just trimming it right up the center. And that's just going to be how that is. And I have a whole nother piece that I can just put away for a later time. So then I'm going to go around the edges and just flick this distressor right on the edges here, like so. And since I did trim this little bad boy here, I'm going to flick its edge too. Alright. And that's where my lace is going to go, right? So once again, tacky glue out. And of course it's like half full, so it takes eons to get down to the bottom. Sorry about that. I will remember again to leave it sideways. That's my trick. I leave it sideways and then it doesn't drain all the way back, and then I have. Now I'm not trying to put on a thick layer here. I just want to get this stuff down, and I want it to stay down. So thick layer, no, because then it's just all over and you're working with you. Blech. This stuff does dry pretty clear, so you're not going to see a whole bunch of it left over. Not to mention, I've got some plans, so we're going to cover some of it up. All right. Flip it, trim, flip it, trim. All right, so trimmed. I'm going to keep those little pieces because you never know what paper clip that can come in handy on. And I like this. So this says Home of the Famous, and I like this word. Now I got these. This is from a scrapbooking page that I got out of one of my paper packs. And anyway, it has these words on it. It says, Memories of a Lifetime. So what I'm going to do is it's pink and cute, and I'm going to Distress Ink it up. I cut it out, and I fussy cut it. You can stamp whatever you want. You could stamp Memory, or Home of the Famous Dream, or Home of the Famous, I don't know, Adventure, Home of the Famous World Traveler, whatever you want to put, you know, anything. It could be anything or everything. Steampunk convention, if you're into that. I love steampunk. But anyway, I wanted Home of the Famous Memories of a Lifetime. I know it's not a technically like a, one word, but I like it, and I think it's going to be cute. So we are going to go ahead, and I'm just going to put that little dot there and sweep, sweep, sweep across. See how much I can get. Ooh, going to need a little more. All right, there we go. So this is just going to be attached right there, kind of at the base, or at the top of the lace, and I'm going to kind of center it, eyeball center, eyeball, eyeball, eyeball. Tacky glue moves for me, so if I didn't get it perfect, there we go. All right, baby wipe again on my fingers. All right, and then we've got our notch, we've got our pocket, we've got this going, right? But that's not all I want to do. I want to see something else, and actually I've got this too. Let me think. I bet, let's see, let's go ahead and ink him a little. I fussy cut this little guy out of a book, and I was loving it, so I think, yeah, or, you know what, I like that there, but I want to pop that up just a smidge. So what I think I'm going to do for that, let me see if I got pop dots somewhere. I do. All right, I got little pop dots here, and we sell these too. So you can get pop dots through Fun Stamper's Journey as well. I'm just going to yank one. And I think, yeah. All right, one more. Just for good measure, I'm going to do two. So it's nice and sturdy. I'm going to peel these little guys. So a little bit I'm thinking on the fly here. No problem. That's what I do every time. Pop that down right there, just because I like it. No good reason. And then, oh, nope, not you. I was liking this kind of shabby chic page look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it with my butterfly punch. And let's see, where did I get this punch? I got him from, where is he? Hey, give me back my butterfly, dude. Well, that's not good. He stole my butterfly. Rat. Let me see what I can do about that. Okay. Well, try one more time. I'm not liking that. Oh, there it is, butterfly thief. I don't know what happened there. Sorry about that, folks. Well, anyway, He was jealous. I fold their wings in just a little because I like them to be a little bit fluffy. Little poofy. Pretty baby. Alright, we're going to go ahead and ink him up. Give him his vintage appeal. And sometimes if I'm liking a color, I want to work with a color, sometimes I'll just vintage them, or I mean I'll distress them with another color. And that works just as well. So I like him, but I kind of want him to be somewhere down here, either on the lace or below the lace. I'm thinking just below the lace, maybe at the bottom portion of the lace, so he's kind of centered. All right, but I also got these little, what do you call them? The little, oops, sorry about that. All right, so I also got these little pearls, and I'm going to take the pearls, and I'm cutting about 3 of them off here because I'm going to make a little body on the inside, and we're going to have a pearl body. Like I said, we're going shabby chic vintage with this. So I'm going to lay my pearls down. Here's the back there. So there we go. He's got his little pearls, and I squish him up again. And then let's see here. Here's my little tape. Now what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to peel a little piece of my tape, cut it, and apply to the back of my butterfly. And I'm going to turn him into a sticker. A stick-on. He ain't going nowhere. That's the one thing I like about this tape stuff. I've got him on the lace. He's flat down on the lace, but he's not, you know, he's movable. He's still a workable, movable page piece. He's not like just sitting there in the middle, you know, unmovable. So that would be one. That's one of the things that I would do. I'm going to do the second one real quick for you here. Alright, this one I'm going to do is a trifold. I'm going to have you work with me here just for a few seconds because I did kind of get the idea of how I was going to fold it. And I do this all the time. I kind of play with things, piece it together. So I am going to trifold this little baby like so. And we're going to definitely have one pocket here. I've got glue on my fingers, sorry. One pocket here. We're going to open it up. And I want a tuck spot back here, but I also want a pocket on the inside here. So what I'm thinking, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just eyeball trim this because we don't have as much time. So I'm going to eyeball trim that. There we go. We've opened him up. And I would like to give a notch, because I like to give the notches so it kind of gives a hint that there is, in fact, a little thing in there. This one already has its own notch. So to tuck space back there, I'm not going to notch here because I need that for something. And I want to put one down in here. So this opens up kind of like that, right? Well, I'm going to take this, fold back the piece that I don't want to cut. Let's see if I can get that in there, like that. Hold it back like that. Make it flat. And I'm only going to cut right here. Now you say, oh, well, that's just a little, you know, notch. Yes, it is. But then I'm going to take, you know what? We don't even need my scissors yet. Okay. So you can either take your scissors or your X-Acto knife and cut, and then cut. Okay, so it's open, right? But here's the other dilemma. People might mistake the other portion for a tuck spot, and I don't want them to do that. So I'm just going to give that little tiny edge there the glue. Sorry. I gotta get more tacky glue, I think, because that's annoying. Alright, so I'm just going to give that little edge some glue. And I'm going to press it back. That way, that edge will stay back when the person wants to put their tuck spot in, or tuck their tag in, or card, or whatever. I'm going to take this one away. This is just some extra pieces of junk. Alright, on this side, I think I'm going to put a picture. I'd like to put a picture to make a tuck spot too. And I'm just going to ink all the way around like so. But I don't think I want it square, so let's go with small corner rounds. No, I don't know. Actually, I've got something else. Let me grab it here. Okay. That's a corner. It's a corner edger. And I want it to corner these. So I'm going to give it something a little bit more fancy. We're going fancy schmancy. Alright. And one last one. There we go. Alright, and even this one, kind of give it a little hangnail there. Trim it off. Okay, so I've got my picture all cornered up and it's all, you know, special looking and fancy. And then I'm going to take one more time and ink, because remember, when we cut the corners, we cut our inking off of it, so we definitely want it inked again. And I think that looks a little bit better. That looks more finished. So I'm going to flip it because I want to only glue down one little side of it because I'm wanting a tuck spot. So I'm going to do white tape there, one, and one more, I think, right about here. And this is just going to give us an extra tuck spot. This one's going to be chock full of good places to tuck things. Peel white, and I think right here is going to be a good place to apply. Alright, so that's going to be part one, and you can tuck right behind it. See here? Ink edges, ink edges, ink edges. Alright, I like that. So far, so good. The next set, or the next thing we're going to work on, I'm going to work on the centerpiece. And this centerpiece, I would like to do a little pocket right there. And so I'm going to use a couple pieces of scrap right there. And I'm thinking, let's see here, where is that? Okay. Alright, how do I like this? Is that tall? I think that should be good for the first height. And I'll see about the second height. So, for the first one, I'm going to go ahead and trim off this little corner piece. These are just leftover bits and pieces, and I do like to, every once in a while, haul them out and see what I can do with them. Otherwise, you're going to get overrun with little bits and pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a lacy looking edge real quick here. Alright, how are we doing? Okay, lacy edge one down. Alright, and I've got my junk, so I'm going to tuck it over here. And I think I'm going to trim this just a smidge. So let's give this a nice tight base. Let's go ahead and trim it. I'm going to flip it because I like that darker edge. So I'm going to trim there. Maybe about a quarter inch off. It doesn't really matter. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing here. Oh, you know what? I can't do that because that would be upside down. Alright, so let's go this way. There's one. And bringing it back. Two. We need a little edge. Three. Okay, so there's my lacy edge number 2. And you guys are like, why? Why do you need lacy edge? I need lacy edge because I want it to be a pretty little lace edging, pretty little lace base for my pocket. And I really, really like the look of that. And it comes out really, really cool, right? All right, so I'm going to take that there. Then I'm thinking, let's go just a smidge lighter. Yep. I'm going to go a smidge lighter. Like, it's nice because I got this scrap paper all, oops. All right, there we go. Scrap paper all ready to go. Let's see here. And now we're just going to eyeball trim most of this. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take this lace and I'm going to fold it. So I'm going to fold one like so. And I want to kind of try to make it even all the way across. And you guys are going to wonder why I'm doing this, and I'm going to show you in a minute here. One. And number two, like so. That's not even. Alright. So, there we go. Fairly even all the way across. Looks good. And that way I don't really have to worry about the trim. I don't have to worry about trimming it to the extent of it doesn't really matter at that point. Alright. So, if I were to cut there and there, and I'm just going to make little tears. That's sometimes what I do because it's faster and easier. Trim. Trim. Alright. And then I really want to find out where this base fits in. I know it's not exactly even. Yep, I see that. I'm not really worried about it right now. Okay. So I'm going to cut there. Alright. Cut there. And then I'm going to just eyeball even it up because it's going to be hidden, and you'll see why. Alright. So then this would fit over top of that, kind of like that. So it looks like I have double lace. But in order for it to really look like I have double lace, we got to have some way for the two layers to stand out, to pop against each other. If they really blend in, then we're out of luck and it doesn't really look like a good effect. So I'm going to go ahead and ink up these layers like so. Ink up layer number 2 like so. And I'm going to ink up just the sides and bottom of this. Okay, so now that I know I've got it where I want, or what I want, and I know that I'm going to want to see that little base like so, I'm going to go ahead and, you know what, we'll use tacky glue this time. I'm going to run a little line just across right there. So I've got line number 1, and I'm just going to even lay. 1, 2, 3. That looks good. Alright. And now I'm going to do the same thing with this one, only that one lays directly on. So I can apply the tacky glue to the top layer. Alright. And I'm going to just go ahead and smear that a little. Lay it right on. Like so. Alright. So there's my lace pocket. I'm liking that really well. Alright. Flip it over. Glue it down because we definitely don't want that thing moving when someone goes to tuck something behind it. And then I'm going to use, because I don't like if glue moves, which glue sometimes does, so I like to use the tape on this part just because we don't want it going anywhere. Alright, and oops, I sideways, so I'm just going to quick fix it. As long as you fix it real quick, usually you're alright. Alright, and then like so. Alright. All right. Peel. And one more time, peel. All right, so we peel those up. Whoops. And we're gonna go ahead and lay this down. So this is gonna make our little pocket. Oh, and I didn't do that side either, did I? I don't know how I forgot that. All right, I guess I fibbed. I'm gonna have to do glue because I don't have a choice. Otherwise, see, 2 seconds standing upright and the stupid glue does that. How much fun is that? All right, here we go. All right, so I don't want it to mush too far, and I definitely don't want it to mush out too much. We'll just lay that down before I forget. So little space here, otherwise I won't be able to get it all in, so I don't like that part, but there's a little pocket. So we got the pocket there. We've got our little notch here, right? So we're gonna go ahead and ink those up. I got it how I want it. We'll keep it like this. Ink, a dink a doo. All right, so ink, ink, ink. So you can tell there's a pocket there. And I am gonna ink this section because it's all good to do now. This is gonna be the third little piece. Now, this is something else that I wanna do. All right, I've got these little, it's a memo pad, right? And I got it from Wish, and I love it because I can do so many weird things with it. It's really cute. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take 2 little pages out of it, right? Like so. I'm just going to see really quick. I'm going to eyeball here. About the right width is, all right. So then I'm going to take my cutter, slide them up to the top, and make my slice. So I've got, and I put one in between. So I've got line, memo, line, memo. So there's 4 little sheets here, right? It's not a magic trick. There are 4 sheets here. There will always be 4 sheets here. And then I'm going to take my little mini stapler, and that's this side here, a mini staple on both sides. It gives it 2 little minis, and because I like the look of it, I'm going to go ahead and use the musical notes. Let's see, this way. The musical notes down on this. Alright. So we're going to go a little past the edge, lining it up kind of with that bottom, with that second line in. A little past the edge, a little past the edge. And then I'm going to trim. Flip it. Woo! And it took off on me because that's what they do. Alright. And I'm going to go cut, cut, corner. Take that piece off, stick it down. Then I'm going to do maybe cut, cut, corner, and fold over. Now nobody will see that back portion anyway, but I wanted the top portion to have the little notes. So it does, like so. And then I'm going to take, and I want it to go here, because I'm thinking this will be really cute for a little, you know, message board type thing. But I also want to put some little message of my own on it. And I've got these. Now this is a stamp set that is from Fun Stamper's Journey as well. And it's called Text, I think Text Chat or something like that. And it's about $21, but it has all these little sayings like imperfection is beauty, it goes on, life is beautiful, do small things with great love, big things often have small beginnings. I mean, it has tons and tons and tons. So I want to use something here, and I think this one is the one I'm going to use. And I'm going to take this little guy here, I'm going to put him here. Alright, and then I want my ink. So I use the black licorice ink from my Fun Stamper's Journey. And ink, 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 ink. Okay. Now, flip it. And I'm just going to put it down. You know what? I'm going to put it at the top, right here. I'm going to eyeball where I lay it. One there. But it's a memo pad, remember? So we want it to kind of be all similar. Alright, and that one says memo, so I'm going to put that one lower. Up here. One more time. Alright, and last but not least, down here. But I also don't really want to stop there. I kind of want to put like a little, let me see what I've got here. Oh, yeah, this will be perfect. I'm going to put a teeny tiny little crown. So I'm going to put a small crown kind of kicked off like that on each of these. Then someone can, yes, feasibly write on it, but at the same token, it's still very cute and decorated. And possibly decorated too much. Alright, whoops. Alright, so that one took off on me too, because sometimes they do. Alright, it's going to go in here, and it's going to go like that, right? But I need a way to go ahead and get it to stay down. And I've got a mini hole punch here. And I'm going to make a little mini hole punch right there. Okay? Then in this one, I'm going to do the same thing. A little mini hole punch. Alright? Like so. And I'm going to take a brad. And I've got all these brads with all these colors. So there's silver, antique gold, copper, or, you know, like a brassy gold. But I'm going to take the copper because I kind of like that copper look. The copper does stand out, but yet not too intrusive. And I'm going to take the front of it. Oops, I got glue on my finger. Sorry about that. And the front of it is going to go right here on this side, so you can see it. And I didn't go quite towards the middle, if you'll notice. That's okay. Somewhat middle. I didn't go quite towards the middle. I eyeballed it. That's the way it goes. That's life. Alright. Flip it open here. And I've got this sitting in here. Alright. Then I flip this. And that brad is going to become useful to me. So I'm going to take my fingernails and work it up. I've got some twine here. And this twine is going to get wrapped around the brad once, twice. Let's go. That's not going to come off. Okay, twice. Trim. Now the idea behind this portion of it is that once it's closed and it's a little packet like so, you can wrap this around and it'll be done. It'll be right there. And I think I like that a lot. So we're going to go with that. And I think that should be plenty. I haven't decided yet as to whether or not there will be an ending piece on it or what. But now we got to work on the business of taking care of this side. And I do have one of those tea-dye doilies that I made. And I'm just going to go around and ink up the edge, just like everything else. And once it's inked like so, not a lot, just enough because it really doesn't have to be the end of the world. This little guy's moving a little on me. I'm going to take, alright, this back half back by your window, that's the half that I think needs to have the, what do you call this thing? The doily. Sorry about that. I'm losing my mind. I think I inked the wrong side. Monkeys. Alright. Do one more time. Ink, 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 ink. Okay. So my doily is inked. And I'm liking that look. So I think I'll do that. Tacky glue. And no, on the front side, I don't really want to have to worry too much about tuck spots and what have you. So we're just gluing this little bad boy down. We're just decorating, because you can't decorate one and not the other. The only reason I didn't decorate the other side of the pocket that we first did was because there wasn't any need to decorate once it's glued down. All right, I have that. Now I am thinking, let's see, let's do a little center. Let's do a center circle, and I think this circle will be big enough. Ooh. Give ourselves 2. All right. Do that circle. And I'm thinking that should be, oh no, that's gonna be way too small. All right, so we won't go with that circle. We're gonna go with, oh, you know what I have? Grab them, my scallop punches. Let me see if I can find a sufficiently large enough scallop punch. I think that probably will be just the ticket, if I can find one. There. What's this little guy? Yeah, he'll be fine. And he's kind of a lacy, faux lacy. And we'll ink him up. Alright, so he's a scallop punch. And I've just folded him in half. So the scallop punch folded in half will be right there. So that'll be a little less color, but it'll still do what I want it to do, which is I wanted to give the center a little interest. Not a ton, just a little. Like so. And this back half here is kind of plain and boring, right? So I'm going to go ahead and give it some words as well. And I'm just going to ink up those words. Ink-a-dink-a-doo. Ink up the words. And I'm thinking there, kind of like that. That looks good. And just for good measure, I think I'll add some pearls to this as well. So I'm going to go ahead and tacky glue this down like so. And let's do a pearl. I'm going to do pearl number 1. Pearl number 1 here at the top corner of Take a Chance. Pearl number 2. Let's go with pearl number 2 can go right down here. And I'm going to do pearl number 3 up here. So there are some, you know, little extras on this one. We've got the little pearls. I'm going to raise it up so you guys can see it. It says Take a Chance. It's got little pearls. Alright, now this backside. This backside's blah boring. Okay, well I did receive, and I don't really like that burgers look, but that's okay, because we're going to do it right about there anyway. So I got this from Wish, and it is petals. It's little flower petals. And I'm going to peel it, and I'm just going to make a flower that I like. And I'm kind of going to overlap that lace a little bit too. And that's just the way it's going to be. And I think probably 5 petals will do it. We'll see if I can't smoosh it in 5 petals. I'm just peeling these little petals off of here. It's a washi tape, but it's a washi tape that's got petals. Go figure. Alright, so 3. Piece number 4. I'm going to go here with piece number 4. We're overlapping just a smidge. And piece number 5 is sufficient for a full around flower. But now our flower needs a center. So here's our flower. I can lay that flat a little bit more. Here's our flower, but our flower needs a center. It needs a little pretty stamen or something, and I'm thinking these little sparkly jewels are gonna do the trick. So let me open this up I'm going to pluck one of these little bad boys out and plop him right there in the center. All right, so this is our flower. That's what he looks like. He's a happy little fella. Flip it over. Okay, so this would be the front of our little mini book, if you will. And we got to have something cute in the front, right? It does say home of the whatever, you know, blah, blah, blah. I'm not really concerned with the home of the. I don't really care for that. So one of the things that I want to do is I'm going to take my, let's see here. All right, I'm going to take a paintbrush, just an average paintbrush, doesn't really matter. And I'm going to take just a teeny tiny bit of white paint. And it's just white paint. I'm not using gesso for this. You can use gesso. Okay, my white paint needs to be shook up. Rats, I'm all shook up. All right. There we go. White paint. Blah, blah. Mix that little fella up. I'm going to have to shake up my white paint some more next time. All right. And I just want to kind of give it a quick brushing. I don't need it to be completely 100% covered. I don't need it to be perfect. I just want to give it a little. All right. So that's all I'm going to do for that. And even that is a little bit much for me when I'm looking at it like this. I'm going to take one of my dry sheets and I'm going to dry it down. And you're going to be like, why are you doing all this? It looks weird. Okay, yes, it does look weird, but it does dull out that home of the. And then when I ink around the edges like so, it holds the ink a little bit more, or at least it holds the color a little darker on the edges. And then I'm going to take my butterfly. I love butterflies. All right. And my black licorice ink pad, and I'm going to pat, pat, pat. I'm not putting a lot of pressure on this, I'm just patting, because patting will cake layer the ink on there for you. And I'm going to go ahead and push my butterfly right there in the center. And I'm just going to let it go ahead and soak in for a minute. All right, good enough, perfect, shabby chic vintagey, right? Well, I also have this cute little cage. It's a die-cut bird cage that I am going to distress the edges of, distress the edges of, distress the edges of. Okay, so I went around him, gave him some distress, right? He looks great. I'm liking him. And I think one more thing I want to do to him real quick, which only involves one more thing. Sorry about that. I'm liking, I have this eyelash trim that's like kind of a, I don't know, brown, kind of pretty color look. I'm just going to find a piece of it real quick. And I think we can just use that. Or at least that should be sufficient. Yep, here we go. For him. Alright, I'm going to trim off a piece of that. There we go. Alright. I'm going to put my little trim basket back over here. And he is going to be affixed down here. And I'm definitely going to get the bottom of this cage, and I'm going to try and get some highlights in there in the little centers. So I can do that. Well, actually, I better do this first. Well, he's got a little hole at the top, and you could put a brad through it. You could put just about anything you want through it, but I want kind of a, I don't know, just a little flare. So I'm going to stick my eyelash trim through it, open up the center of it. I'm just sticking a little, you know, I stick a little loop through. I'm going to open the centers and then back tuck my ends through it. And we'll see how this comes out, because it's not like it's easy. Eyelash trim is one of those things that it's like all over the place and you can't tell what you're doing until it's done and you don't know for sure if it's right. But anyway, okay, so he's there. He's got some little tassel. And we're caging a butterfly instead of a bird. All right, that's the idea. Let's go ahead and tacky glue. Tacky glue, the bottom base should be your best. And I'm just going to give some dots. Oh, and my phone. That's my husband. Please don't mind him. He's been texting me. Apparently they gave blood today at work, and he fainted because he was trying to do something nice, but he's deathly afraid of needles, and I told him he was crazy. So, yeah, that was him. Alright, there's our caged little butterfly, and he's pretty cool. And then this would just wrap up like so and tuck. And you know what? I think we're so busy here, I'm not going to bother. This project is so busy. I'm just going to leave it like that without a little end. But it looks like that. So then when you would open it, or when your partner or swap partner, whatever, would open it, it would be like this. And all of you are wondering, what about tags and such? I've got some scrap paper here, and I got my little tag punch. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll make 5 little tags just for the heck of it. Put them over here like so. Take this. I got some ribbon here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And somebody else will be an eyelet. Okay, so all I do with these tags, if I do mini tags, I take my little paper clip staple. I'm going to do the same thing over and over and over again with all these little guys. Staple. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to look cute. Alright. Staple. And let's see, that's 1, 2, 3. Hey, one of my ribbons took off on me like a brat. Oh, there it is. Number 3. Number 4. Like so. Alright. Oh, my shopper thingy. Hold on one second. Alright. And then, like I said, this guy's going to get a brad, so let's do that and see what's what there. Probably another copper brad, like so. And I'm not even going to use my hole punch. I am just going to go like this. And the reason I did the line straight down is because that's how I want to poke those in, so that my little flares, little flanges on the ends, comes out like that. And I don't know if I'm calling it the right way, but that. So I've got these 5 tags like so, and I am going to place one here. That's the back side. We're going to place one in here. And you can ink these too. One could be in the tuck spot like this. One could be back here tucked. And then our 5th one can be tucked there. Or, you know what, let's go ahead, since we already, oh, here we go. Number 5. I thought I had 5 spots, and I think I was losing my mind. Alright, so, tuck spot, open it up, journaling pad, open it up, pocket, another pocket, tuck spot, pocket, and this is our project. So those are my projects. That's what I've done with these. I hope you like them, and until next time, keep on crafting. Thanks, guys.